Hello my wonderful Linux users over there and everybody who wants to use the Linux operating system. Today I'm going to be asking you a question. Do you have video tearing on your Linux computer? And I'm going to tell you a story from my past when I was in the vocational school. 3 years of computer study. And I learned Linux over there. And I ran, I think it was Arch Linux or Manjaro Linux on my X301 ThinkPad. And I had OpenBox as the window manager. Or the desktop environment, I mean. And there was huge amounts of video tearing on many like Linux distros. On almost all of the computers I used. And I thought that is this kind of the way the Linux is. And I found out on OpenBox this thing called Compton. If you are a gamer, you know about VSync, so video sync. That means that the graphics card, when it renders frames to your computer, it only renders frames up to this hertz of the frequency that the screen operates on. So it's kind of like 60 frames or 120 or maybe some esoteric number like 75 with some screens. So video tearing comes when your graphics card renders too many frames for your screen and then the frames kind of get overlapped. That's video tearing. And you get rid of it by using something like Compton on OpenBox. At least that was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Maybe even more. It's like 8 years already. I don't know. Man, I'm getting old. Holy shit. But nowadays, when Linux came out with Wayland, and that's the display server of the current Linux operating system. And that's stuck on GNOME. So if you want to get rid of your video tearing, install GNOME and try it out. You won't have video tearing on GNOME. It might also be related to your graphics card. If you have NVIDIA, I'm not sure how you will fix this. It might be in the drivers themselves. So if you have Ubuntu and you have an NVIDIA graphics card and you have GNOME on that and you run on Wayland, and like how you get the Wayland on your computer is that you go into the login screen and you pick the Wayland from the desktop environments menu. You can also run GNOME nowadays still with X, and the X is the old display server. And for example, when I ran the OpenBox on that old ThinkPad, it used X, not Wayland. And Wayland fixes video tearing. So Wayland probably can be used nowadays with at least KDE, or maybe KDE has some other implementation. It had that, you know what it was called? Plasma. I think that also fixes that kind of issue. I don't know. And probably all the desktop environments that use kind of the GNOME as the base, you know, I think Cinnamon has been built like out of GNOME. So I would expect that Cinnamon also can be nowadays used with Wayland. So that's your real fix. Use Wayland. You know, use Wayland. But you can fiddle around if you want. If you insist on using like i3, for example, all these are now esoteric window managers like the OpenBox. I don't know if OpenBox has had any, you know, upgrading to it. And if you want, like, if you insist on using that and you want to like watch video on it and it has video tearing, then yeah. What can you do? Well, you can always Google and you can always find the answers. You can find the answers and they are there. But it's all related to your like hardware configuration and all the different facets. So the surefire way to not get video tearing on your computer, Linux computer, where you won't be playing games either way, is to run without a dedicated graphics card. So when you buy a computer, if you buy a laptop, don't get that one with NVIDIA or fucking AMD. I don't know, nowadays they probably work better or they might work worse. I don't know. But if you run Intel graphics, mostly Intel hardware, you use GNOME desktop with Wayland, you won't get video tearing. That's for sure. But if you try to run some NVIDIA graphics card on some old laptop and you run some esoteric window, no, it can be kind of finicky to get that kind of work. Yeah. I remember I also had a T60 ThinkPad. And it was old as shit. 4x3, aspect ratio screen. Like 200, like 1400 times 150 resolution on that screen. It was a great fucking machine, but the battery was shit and I maybe should have kept that ThinkPad, but I sold it, because it was just, so old. And like, it had ATI graphics, I remember, and I think it didn't have any video tearing problems, even without any fiddling. Oh no, I ran OpenBox on it, so I did the competent thing on that also. And go around, find the answers. You can get rid of this probably on your computer, but that's the real solution, I feel. Run Intel graphics, run GNOME, or some other desktop with Wayland. I don't know about, I have kind of, dropped off the bandwagon, so to say. I found my style, and that's Fedora with GNOME. So find the answers, and yeah, that's how you get rid of video tearing. Thanks for watching this video.